What I'm about to tell you is my story. I once took a job as a night caregiver for an 80-year-old woman named Audrey who had a developmental disability. Her daughter Kate needed someone to watch over her mother during her overnight shifts. I assumed it would be a straightforward job given my experience in similar roles. But the reality was far more unsettling. Kate introduced me to Audrey before being led to bed. She looks friendly. As the night progressed, a growing unease took hold. Kate had warned me Audrey might wander the house at night, and I needed to guide her back to her room. While watching TV, I heard quiet footsteps upstairs and called out to Audrey. There was no answer, just the sound of her footsteps moving away. Later, I made a sandwich. I turned around to see Audrey standing at the doorway, her face expressionless and distant. I dropped my plate in shock, and it shattered around her feet. When I asked if she was all right, she screamed, demanding to know who I was. Despite trying to reassure her, it was challenging to lead her back upstairs as her screams filled the dark house. After giving her water and medication, I retreated downstairs, shaken. In the dim light of the room, I froze, struggling to grasp the horrifying sight before me. Audrey stood at the front of the bed, expressionless, holding a large gleaming kitchen knife. A chill hung in the air, and my heart hammered in my chest. "Audrey," I whispered, trying to hide my fear. "It's me, your caretaker. Everything is all right." I kept my gaze on the knife, afraid to move. Her blank stare seemed to look right through me. Audrey took a silent step closer, the knife at her side. My mind raced, but I found to stay calm. "Audrey, let's put the knife down," I urged, trying to sound reassuring. She hesitated, her eyes narrowing. I slowly reached out my hand, hoping she'd release the knife, but she remained still, her gaze locked on me. Time seemed to stretch as the tension grew unbearable. My instincts screamed at me to flee, but I couldn't abandon my duty. I took a deep breath and lunged forward, snatching the knife from her grip. She screamed, and I tossed the knife away. Audrey backed away, her face a mix of fear and confusion. I positioned myself between her and the knife. "Audrey, go back to your room," I said gently but firmly. She blinked, trying to comprehend, then turned and left the room. I followed her to her bedroom door and I watched her close it. The click of the door was a relief, but I couldn't relax until the night was over. I retreated to the spare room, locking the door behind me, trying to steady my racing heart. The image of Audrey with the knife haunted my mind. When you are faced with a situation that puts your safety at risk, your survival instincts kick in and you must prioritize your own well-being. That's precisely what happened to me when I encountered Audrey with a kitchen knife in her hand, a situation that veered into the realm of horror. It was as if her dementia had stripped away her humanity, leaving only an unsettling and dangerous presence behind. As I screamed for her to put the knife down, Audrey's distress heightened. She screamed back at me, repeating, "I don't know you." The room felt charged with an ominous energy as she took slow steps toward me, the knife glinting at the dim light. Her weak yet determined swing at the air missed me as I made a quick decision to escape around her, narrowly avoiding the dangerous blade. Once I reached the safety of the outside, I called Kate, her daughter, instead of the police. I knew that involving law enforcement could exacerbate an already tense situation. Kate was furious and begged me not to leave her mother alone, but I had no choice. My life was on the line. As I waited outside, I kept a watchful eye on the house. I needed to ensure Audrey didn't leave her room or cause harm to herself or anyone else. When Kate arrived, she rushed inside, only to find her mother asleep with a knife by her side. Despite her initial accusations of exaggeration, Kate's expression changed when she saw the evidence of what had transpired. I left that house behind, knowing I would never work there again. Audrey was a terrifying patient, unlike anyone I had encountered in my years of caregiving. Her behavior haunted me, and I couldn't help but wonder what could have led her to this state. The encounter reminded me of a previous unsettling experience at a plumbing job in an old decrepit house. It was my first call for a plumbing company, and I was sent to a remote, run-down location. The man who greeted me at the door had an eerie, off-putting presence with a peculiar smile and a voice that seemed out of place for his appearance. Inside, the house was empty and dilapidated, devoid of any furniture. As I worked on the sink, the man hovered over me, making me feel trapped and uneasy. When the water wouldn't run, he claimed to have accidentally shut off the main water valve, but his answer made no sense. His response and the strange lack of water in the faucet made me suspect he was lying. As he walked upstairs to supposedly turn the water back on, I heard multiple sets of footsteps coming down the stairs. My instincts told me to leave immediately. I grabbed my tools and fled to my van, a sense of danger looming in the air. Despite my size and physical strength, the entire encounter left me shaken. The man's unsettling aura and the sudden appearance of footsteps suggested something sinister was about to unfold. My experiences with both Audrey and the strange plumbing job remind me that the line between reality and horror can sometimes blur. In those moments, trusting my instincts and prioritizing my safety became paramount. The house loomed in the dark like a sinister secret, its weathered facade a testament to years of decay. As I drove away, a sense of relief washed over me, but also a lingering fear. I called Ron, my boss, giving him a vague excuse about a prank call rather than admitting the truth. I was terrified of what I'd seen. A little digging revealed the house was long abandoned, a husk hiding something far darker. The phone number linked to the eerie call turned out to be a dead end, a ghostly voice over IP. I reported the encounter to the local police, hoping they'd investigate and maybe seal off that cursed place. I vowed never to return. I hadn't been with the plumbing company long, just a year before moving on. But the memory of my first night as a delivery driver to Yellow Cab in 2020 haunted me. That night, I was new and nervous, being trained under the watchful eye of the manager. Late into the night, we received an order, 4 large pizzas and 2 bottles of soda. We loaded my car and set off into the darkness, guided only by the dim glow of our phones. The house we sought was far from town, isolated in the shadows of the countryside. As we approached the dilapidated 2-story home, the wood creaked and boarded windows stared back at us. My heart sank as I questioned the manager, and he urged us forward. Hesitant, we trudged toward the decrepit front door. My fellow trainee muttered something about seeing a figure in an upper window, but the manager dismissed his fears. At the door, a foul stench filled the air. We pounded on the door, expecting an answer, but the silence grew heavier. Finally, an older man cracked open the door, his face etched with an unsettling friendliness. He told us he needed to fetch payment from inside and left the door ajar. As he vanished, my eyes wandered, taking in the emptiness of the house, bare floors, old blankets. It was then the sound of footsteps upstairs confirmed our suspicions. Fear seeped into our bones as we heard something from beneath us. The manager investigating the back of the house, The other trainee and I exchanged terrified glances, feeling the ominous presence of unknown dangers lurking. The manager's scream broke the silence, followed by frantic footsteps. He rushed us back to the car, shouting to leave immediately. I sped away, never looking back. How do you think these eerie mysteries connect? Share it with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fear Flicks for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.